Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ethan Bernard. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Anthem once again. Finally, we have some more information on Anthem. The closed alphas this weekend. I cannot wait for it. But along with the announcement of the closed alpha, the folks at BioWare and EA have also given us those sweet, sweet PC recommended specifications. Now, just a little disclosure here. These specs are for the closed alpha specifically. I don't think these are going to be the finalized recommended specs for the game. This is just what they recommend right now for anyone who's going to be participating in the closed alpha this weekend. So, for those of you playing on console, oh my goodness, you guys are going to be having a good time. You know, you won't have to worry about any of this stuff that I'm about to talk about. Although, some of you guys on the base PlayStations and those Xbox One S's, you might want to watch out for some of that low-resolution, low-frame-rate gameplay, because I think Anthem's going to be a very hardware-happy game that is definitely going to benefit from those who have a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X. Anyway, on to the PC specifications. The processor that they recommend for Anthem is the Intel equivalent of the i5-3570 or the FX6350 from AMD. Now, the i5-3570 is a quad-core processor that released in 2012, runs at a base clock of 3.4 gigahertz. You can boost that up to 3.8. And this is not a bad processor. If you guys built a gaming PC from Intel within the last couple years, probably even within the last few years, you should hit this very easily. If you guys have what is considered a gaming PC, I have no doubt that this is probably the minimum that would be inside your PC at this point. Over on the AMD side, the FX6350 is a 6-core processor that runs at a base clock of 3.9 gigahertz, and you can boost that up to 4.2. Now, for those of you who don't know, Intel cards are usually better, like all around, when it comes to cooling, longevity, performance, etc. You can get this card for about $100, even less used. So you can get either card for around $100, depending on whether you buy used or not. But honestly, I would just go the Intel route. And like I said, if you guys already have a gaming PC, you'll be fine. Alright, you should be fine. This is a pretty old card as well. You should be good to go. Where it gets a little interesting is when we're talking about graphics cards. Alright, the NVIDIA GeForce equivalent that they're asking for is the GeForce GTX 970. Now, the 970 is an older card, obviously the 900 series, so even before the 10 series, all that stuff. This card is amazing. If you use some of the older drivers, this card can still hold its own with most of the recent titles. It's a 4GB Maxwell architecture card from NVIDIA GeForce, and this thing holds its own, guys, especially when you're playing at 1080p like I am. The 970 does work, and you should be absolutely fine if you have a 970 or better in your system. Now, for those of you who do not have a graphics card yet, I would 100% recommend getting that little extra money, boot it up to about 250, you know, 250, 300, you can get a GTX 1060 6GB, which is going to be even faster than the 970. It's going to have more memory, it's going to have better drivers, all that stuff. The 10 series 1060 6GB, make sure it's the 6GB version, will be an excellent card for people planning on getting Anthem, and it should knock out those maximum settings at 1080p pretty easily for those of you who still use 1080p. I know I do. Anyway, the AMD equivalent is the Radeon R9 390 Gaming, the 8GB version. How this is a... it's not a bad card. You can get it for around the same price, like $200 or $300, but honestly, I would have no recommendation whatsoever to get this over the GeForce version. You could if you wanted to, but like I said, for this type of performance, you're looking in the same price range, and it's kind of that Intel AMD situation again, where you're kind of... you'll have a better time with GeForce, so I would just go with a GTX 970, 1060, anything like that. Even a 1070 would probably be really good for some of those high refresh rates on Anthem when that releases. Anyway, after that, the last part of this little recommended system requirements, Windows 10, obviously. Also, for those of you who have Windows 10 on a gaming PC that isn't that up to date, if you activate game mode in the Windows 10 settings, if you have the newer version of Windows 10, you can actually activate that and get about a little 10% or so frame rate boost, which is pretty good considering, like, if you're not using the best specs and you can still get a little more performance, why not? Game mode just kind of pushes some of those Windows processes to the background and lets you go all out with your gaming. They recommend 60 gigabytes of hard drive space, which, you know what, I don't know about you guys, but I plan on cleaning off my SSD for this one, alright? And 8 gigabytes of RAM. I honestly expected them to ask more for RAM, but I'm glad that those of you who have not gone to 16 gigabytes yet, shame on you if you haven't, okay? Even Chrome can barely run on 8 gigabytes, let alone... Ugh, I don't know. Anyway. So, if you guys have built a gaming PC in the last few years, you should be absolutely fine. If you're looking to build one, I would recommend kind of like an i5 7600 or better with a 1060. You're paying a little bit more than the counterparts, but you're getting way more performance and something that'll last you a lot longer, because you don't want to go baseline, guys. Like, even if you think like, oh, I'm going to build a PC for Anthem, and you buy these specs, maybe the game that comes out next year won't even be able to run on those specs. So keep the future in mind when you're spending money on a PC. And if you guys already have a gaming PC, like I said, for anyone that has any sort of a modern gaming PC, you should absolutely be fine for Anthem in its current state. Now, these specs will probably change by the time Anthem releases, and when they do, I'll let you guys know. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hey naysayers, how y'all been? It's been a minute, but I'm in it to win, and I ain't finished. This is the starting gun, and I'ma run it to the front until I'm #1, son. This is a rhythmic defibrillation, innovative old school to thrill the nation. I've been patiently waiting and building steam, but I'm back with the bounce like a trampoline. Oh please, I feel it bubbling up. It's 10 times bigger, but it's never enough. You gotta get up early.